Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Today, well, this is on first video on Cedar Ridge Family Farms on new YouTube channel. We're over here on the Coyote Hill. It's right behind me. As you can see, there's my dog up there on the top. You can see him right up there. Anyway, this is the Coyote Hill. I'm gonna flip. So we're down here. So we're fixing this barbed wire. Our house is just right up there. And then there's a brace and it comes down and there's a big ditch here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hill, comes down and then kind of flattens and then it goes back up the hill. Anyway, so down here in the middle, we have a couple of these tie downs. They're a T-post put in an angle, and then you take a horse wire or smooth wire, put it low to the ground, as low as you can get it, wrap it twice, and then secure it pretty good. Make sure the nipples or the bumps on a T-post are facing down, that way it grips onto there. And then you run it up and you run it to the height of your strands of wire. If we had a stretch that was low, I would show you, but we just started this new YouTube channel, so I didn't film any of it. But anyway, and then you just wrap it, around, and then you come in across, and then you come back over and you cross it again, and then you come up. So it kind of makes a X almost on here. That was kind of messed up, but anyway, and we have two of those. We have a tie down there and a tie down right there, and there's another tie down right up there, and we have some more tie downs where it goes through a creek bed, and they work very good. You can see this fence is very tight, and so you definitely don't have to worry. It will hold it like that. It can hold brand new wire and stuff. This is our first time doing it, but anyway, there it is, and that's what it looks like. This one kind of got messed up. It kind of got put in an angle, but anyway, so we're down here on the bottom, and I did have a T-post right here, but we're gonna put this post in. And how we put post in, well, you can dig them. We used to dig them until we figured out that you can pam them in the ground. So we take a metal rod, a square metal rod that's solid. We pam it in the ground to the depth that you want. So this post is 6 feet, so we're gonna go 2 feet. I would like to go 3, but we can't. And then we have a hammer. It has a metal rod going into this is a pine. I think it's ponderosa, like a firewood block. Anyway, and then you use this to pam it in. That thing is heavy. I mean, it's heavy. It definitely uses a lot to pam a post in with that. We pammed in a few up there, and that one right there was pammed in, and that one there is pammed in. So anyway, we're gonna pam in this one, but first you gotta drive a metal ball in the ground to have a guide hole for that tip to follow down. And so I'm gonna see if I can prop you guys up somewhere where you guys might be able to see what's going on. I don't know, you guys can't really see. I have the phone since I don't have a camera, but I think that would work. There. Okay, we fell down. Okay, there, that might work. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna pam this in real quick. And you can measure your metal bar to figure out how deep it is. So this one's about a 4.5 feet one. So I'm gonna go about right there, and then I tamp it. You want to do this when it's really wet. Right now it's like February, I think it's 10th or 11th. February 11th on a Wednesday. Anyway, so it's like middle of winter, but there's no snow. So it's mainly raining, and there's sunshine, and it's about 3:30. Anyway, so we only have about 2 hours, well, an hour and a half, until we gotta go feed, and also when the sun goes down. So anyway, I just plunged a hole in. Let me shuck this over and then I'll show you. You use this to pat the post a little bit. Here we go. Kind of a little bit shaky, but okay. So there's a hole right there. There's actually some water down in there, but there's the hole. And you have to space it a little bit farther away from the fence to account for the post. Anyway, we got one of these posts. We didn't buy this. We got it, they just they're just free, I think. I don't know actually where they came from. I think the person that owns this got it, but okay. So you shove that in the hole, you make sure it's somewhat straight. Let me pick you guys back up over here so I can tap it down. Once when I get using that bigger hammer, it's definitely difficult. I don't know if you guys can see very good. Kind of shaky footage. I'm gonna try to do my best. Okay, I'm gonna tap this in. This post is kind of rotten, I think. I don't know why. I picked it because it was a bigger one, a bigger round than all the others, but it's kind of rotten. Okay, so now we're done with the sledge. And we have it pit on the ground about an inch or two, maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find a spot where I can get across. It's kind of hard to get through the wire right after you tighten the thing, like super, super tight. And I'm gonna see if I can crawl under up here. Okay, let's see. Ooh. And we're doing 4 foot, and we're doing like, come on, get it hooked up. Okay, there we go. We're doing 4 foot tall, and we're doing 4 strands. That's just what we have found to work for us. And also, we don't like spending a lot of money on more barbed wire. Alright, so I'm gonna move my stuff out of my way. And this is when you grab that heavy hammer, and that thing is a heavy hammer. So I'm gonna see if I can put you guys somewhere where you guys can see me. See how the hammer works. About right there. Okay, I'm gonna go over there and see if it might want to put you in between this wire and that. That way you don't move too much. Okay, let's see. Hopefully you guys can see me. Ugh. This thing probably weighs about maybe 30, 40 pounds. But it is heavy compared to... Anyway, you kind of want to hit it square. I didn't really hit it square right there. Ooh. Anyway, this hammer, as you can tell, is a very heavy hammer. Okay. Ooh. I think it's like 50 pounds. You guys probably didn't see very much because it moved. Okay. Well, anyway, you get kind of the idea. It pretty cracked out this post, but it normally doesn't do this. But you can see, I mean, look at the wire. Not really moving. Too bad. Looks very good. And we use it. We had it on this other post. But this one, it split a lot. This one did have a beveled end, but it was just really dry and split. So we're going to come back with some oil and we'll paint this post. Oil and red diesel. Okay, anyway. Caden has the hammer. But then another thing we're doing is there's some of these used fence stays or cedar stays. Instead of metal stays, you use staples on this. Metal ones are a bit better, but wooden ones I think were good. But anyway, we're putting them in between a stretch of, we put these posts 12 feet, so we're putting a cedar stay every middle and a post every 32 feet. Right here's where our bottom is, so it kind of comes down. You can see there's a post, there's 1 post, 2 posts, 3, and then here's number 4, and it's kind of a bottom here. Anyway, and then I think we might put another post here, but there's pretty much rocks right here, so we might leave out a post. So I'll go up the hill and I'll show you what Caden's doing right now. Anyway, the grass is pretty greening up since the sunshine, and this whole hillside got de-rooted of rosebush roots because they came back up. We mowed them and we de-rooted them. So we'll see if they come back up again. Rose bushes are violent. Well, they very hard to kill. Anyway, here's another post we put in. You can see it kind of went in an angle. The reason being is because it hit rock. But you can see that thing not moving very much. But you can see it didn't split out as bad. That kind of happened because it's kind of dry. So, a lot of these posts were put in by us. That one wasn't. And just getting sunset. This one wasn't. We just left it because it's kind of an old post, but it's in there very good. So you can see we line up the fence stays like this. And Caden's right down there. Right there. Anyway, you can see we have posts. This one's a little close together. These two. But we just did it, so that's just where we put 1 cedar post. Here's one of the cedar posts that we cut. We got from a friend, and we split them. And then you can see we beveled it on the corners and stuff. I have another way how I beveled it. I beveled it using the whatever, but you cut off all the corners and everything. And we put a point on it, and you can see not very moving. And we did this one with the hammer too. And that's roughly what it does. It should just do that. And somewhat hard soil. This is a little bit hard because it was kind of dry. But now it's wet because it rained a little bit ago. Here's another one of those whatever posts, and that one's in gooder, and you can see it didn't really do very much. So the hammer works very good. And this is what Caden's putting on these. I'm going to be coming over here and putting them on too, since I'm done with post. But you can see what they're doing. It tightens up that fence a lot. Like, you try to pry that apart and you can't. There's one of our braces. We didn't video that, but there's an H, and then it runs up this hill. And you can see we're putting cedar stays every 6 feet. So if you come over in between a T-post and a cedar stay, and you go like this, and you try to pry up, it's prying, but if you were to do that with it, just a plain old 12-foot, it would just pry right up. So since we're doing that, it should hold it. If we have any more, we might even put them even tighter, but we'll see. It just used a lot of staples, and then anyway, but yeah, this whole fence got fixed up, and then that fence right there running that way is fixed up too. And I'll go show you those, something what we had to do here. Anyway, that fence runs up there, and then it hits a tree, and we wrapped it around the tree. We just used it's a big red fir, I think. So we just put some 2x4s around it and wrapped it around the tree, because the trees, unless it rots, it's pretty much never gonna go. This won't be able to do anything. Caden built like a dam here. Anyway, if we jump across, here's a creek bed where this runs down. It's kind of like a wallow. If you had pigs in here, they'd get all over it. But it comes from up there, and that drops down, and that runs, and that jumps up to the brace. So you can see we used the hold downs too. There's one there, and there's one over there, and then there's a little ditch right here. We dug it out, and then we put 2 fence stays in, and a fence stay over here. We need to put fence stays going that way on this one, but we haven't done it yet. But this is a very tight fence too. Maybe not as tight. It still feels pretty tight. But anyway, here's one of the braces we did. H brace, and then we used railroad ties. This is Ponderosa, but we're going to coat it with some oil. and we just ran the wire flush with the brace. I don't know. I mean, we could have run it up here, but I just think pulling on it in this angle just kind of push the bottom out, if you can see what I'm talking about. It's the leverage. So I think if you run it right there, it's just going to shove it into the brace. So I think it's a little bit better, but I don't know. I haven't done very many of these braces. Anyway, but the only problem we did have with one of these braces is this one snapped right here, and we didn't catch this when we did it, so we're gonna have to come back down here and tighten it up and put a splice on it. But anyway, that's the only thing. Oh yeah, and we put a tie down there too. So we put quite a bit of tie downs in this fence since we're in a hill country. But there's another tie down, but that one kind of ran up in an angle and then went straight. You kind of want to go straight up, but I just messed up on that one. Here's that's a funky looking knot. I don't know. Anyway, this will get all tightened up again and be tight. But you can see the fence kind of looks like a solid wall going up. We might come back and trim off the tops, but we'll see. Anyway, so we just did this fence. We had to re-pam all the T-posts to 12 feet and pam in post and everything. And we had a, this is day 2 of doing it. So we're pretty much done. We're just putting in fence stays. And this, we're hoping to get beef cows, and then we'll put them in here and stuff. That's why I'm making it more secured than what it was. Right there's just an old post that we pounded in. You can see what the hammer did to that one too. I mean, this one, it's a little more, it's pretty solid still, but kind of got mashed up. Seems like cedar kind of, it does a little bit better, but like some of these pine posts that are just treated with whatever they treat it with, they did pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab my hammer. I gotta grab some staples from Caden to go nail off the post. There we go. 4 staples. Yeah. Hopefully this fence will never break. Nothing will. Come on, let's go. Nothing will ever get out of it again. There's a hot wire fence going right there, and this is usually the milk cow hill. But come on, let's go. But we're not really going to be doing milk cows anymore since a bunch of stuff has happened and whatever. So we're not really going to do milk cows anymore. We are going to have like 1 or 2, but I'm not going to really sell milk. Maybe give it to our family and stuff, but that's pretty much it maybe. So we're not really going to sell milk anymore. We do have, right now we have 5 milk cows and we're milking them. But soon we're going to sell them and stuff. And switch to beef cows. Just because we want to do beef cows and stuff maybe. We don't know. We'll see. We wanted to get some goats, but we'll see. Anyway, so we're just fixing up this fence a little bit better. This might still be the milk cow hill if that one milk cow comes over here, if our pasture doesn't produce enough. But I think our pasture will be able to produce enough. Anyway, the sun's kind of going down. Gonna be going over the hill pretty soon. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna pam in this post. The video is getting pretty long, so I think I'm just going to video pamming staples into this, and then I'll probably call it, because you pretty much already got the gist of pitting in cedar stays. They're pretty much like a post, but you kind of got to put your hand on the other side because they don't have any, they're not pammed into the ground, so they don't really hold back good. So anyway, let's see if I can get this in a reasonable time. These wires should all be decently good, so okay, there we go. See if I can get this pammed in. I'll get on this side. Anyway. Oop, fell down. Yeah, it's a phone, so I don't have a stand for it, but anyway, it looks fine. First time filming on it, so we'll see how it looks. Anyway, I'm just going right into all that. Well, we'll see. I might put wire around that to hold it there, because all this is, well, I guess I could just take off all that. There. Now it won't bother me. And we're gonna have to come back with some oil and treat it all again. That way this thing never... Yeah, it's not very good, but it should hold for now. That one went in the good post. Yeah, and I'll show that one. Okay. And that one is nailed off. We might come back and put some wire around this, just because this all split pretty nasty. But this post isn't really holding anything. Actually, the fence the hold downs are holding it all. Come on, let's go! Anyway, we have another one here. This is Cadence. It's a little bit lighter. He made this one. Has a wooden handle. That one has a metal handle because last time we did have a wooden handle on it, it snapped. So now it had a metal handle, and they're not. This one kind of got drilled in an angle, but we drilled it into a knot, so it should be plenty fine. Anyway, but they're not. If we had a locust one, that would last forever almost. So, come now, come on. Yeah, this fence is looking pretty good. Now it is anyway. We're fixing a bunch more fence running that way, and we'll film that since we got our new YouTube channel going. So we'll film that one, and that one we're going to put in all cedar posts that we have. We treated them with oil and everything. And we have to build new braces and everything. Shoring up the wire. We're not doing, and also you can probably notice that this isn't new wire. We're just tightening the old wire and kind of beefing it up a little bit. Hopefully we can put maybe new wire on it or something. We'll see. Because this old wire is pretty tight, so I'm not too worried about something going through it, but it snaps a lot. Like what we had to do to tighten this wire was insane. But luckily it wasn't like super bad wire, but we do need to come back like when we need to buy like some new rolls of barbed wire, maybe bull wire or something, I don't know, and put them in. But anyway, but yeah, you just stand on the foil and then you pan the post in, and it looks pretty good. Pits them in way faster than digging a hole. It is quite a bit, but it's not as much work as digging a hole. So, and we can get them in 3 feet. Like that cedar post right there is in 3 feet. That one's just in 2 feet because it's just a 6 foot. I want to try putting in. We're going to be putting in a brace like this, and we're going to put it in, try to get it in 4 feet in the ground. But we'll see. There's might be rocks. But anyway, then the rest of the braces, I'm gonna dig braces in, but that one brace I'm just gonna try pamming it in and see how it works. Anyway, so I'll flip the camera around here. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, our new YouTube channel on the first video. So we'll see. Yeah, but anyway, you can see we got that anyway, yeah, this is just a little bit. This is our first video on a new YouTube channel. Anyway, so I better call it now. I'll talk too long and then video get like 30 minutes long. So hopefully we're hopefully gonna post videos every week and everything, so we'll see. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you in the next hopefully upcoming videos.